Greetings from Human Biological Institute. Welcome to yet another engaging session of our scientific forum, Immunization Conclave. At Human Biological Institute, we take immense pride in driving several public health awareness initiatives through our one of its kind platform, Immunize with Pride. Immunize with Pride is an awareness initiative dedicated to educating the public about vaccine preventable diseases and the importance of timely vaccination. These sessions feature leading experts from across the country who share their valuable insights on key health topics aimed to raise awareness and promote overall well-being of the society at large. Today, we are delighted to have Dr. Deepti Kulkarni Rao from Bangalore, Dr. Shalini Bhasin from Lucknow, Dr. M. Sravya from Eluru, Andhra Pradesh, who are with us to share their expert perspective on a very important health aspect, that is adolescent vaccination, the protection parents should not miss. I shall be sharing more about the speaker in a short while. For the moment, allow me to share a brief introduction of Human Biological Institute. Human Biological Institute is a division of Indian Immunologicals Limited. It's a One Health company. IL was established by National Dairy Development Board (NDDB) in the year 1982 as its unit, and later registered as a company in 1999 with the name Indian Immunologicals Limited. HBI was established in the year 1998 when the Government of India requested IL to produce modern tissue culture anti-rabies vaccine to phase out the unsafe nerve tissue culture vaccine. The first manufacturing facility of HBI was established at Ooty. The facility is one of its kind to have rolled out the first varicose culture rabies vaccine in the year 2000. Subsequently, HBI launched various other vaccines and currently one of the major player of human vaccines in India. HBI is a leader in anti-rabies vaccine segment and present in about 60 countries, with three state-of-the-art manufacturing facility at Ooty, Gachibowli, and Karkapatla, which is at Genome Valley. With a vision of shaping global healthcare by spearheading One Health initiative and a mission to innovate, produce, and market quality healthcare products and services to improve and extend lives, HBI believes in providing affordable products with a high quality through continuous technological innovations and improvements to meet customers' needs. Few of the CSR projects, HBI, which is a division of Indian Immunologicals Limited, has adopted two government schools, the vicinity in the Karkapatla, which is near Hyderabad, and developed the basic infrastructure, and also developing the midday meal scheme program for the children. With the gift meal program in coordination with NDDB, several thousands of children in Tamil Nadu Tamil Nadu and Telangana have been benefited. IL has also donated oxygenation plant to TIMS Gachibowli. These are the few key highlights of Human Biological Institute, which is a division of Indian Immunologicals Limited, a truly One Health company. To know more about HBI and IL, please visit www.indimmune.com. Immunize with Pride is a unique initiative which emphasizes that vaccination not only protects individuals but also strengthen immunity or protection for the community. Welcome to today's Immunization Conclave. This session is dedicated to highlight or talk. We'll be busting myths on various topics related to immunization, and today's topic is adolescent vaccination, the protection parents should not miss. So it is my privilege to welcome our panelist for the day. So it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Deepti Kulkarni Rao, a highly respected pediatrician and neonatologist from Bangalore with over 20 years of dedicated experience in child healthcare. She holds MBBS, DCH, and DNB in pediatrics and is currently serving a consultant pediatrician and neonatologist in Vasavi Hospital, Bangalore. While also managing her own pediatric practice, her special interests include neonatal care, child development, and immunization. With extensive experience in neonatal intensive care, newborn transport, and pediatric emergency services. Throughout her distinguished career, Dr. Deepti has remained committed to delivering passionate, evidence based while advancing pediatric services and promoting child health. Welcome, Dr. Deepti Kulkarni Rao. It's a privilege to have you with us today. It is my privilege to introduce Dr. Shalini Bhasin, a highly respected pediatrician from Lucknow with over 35 years of dedicated experience in pediatric practice. She completed her MBBS and MD in pediatrics from King's George Medical College, Lucknow, and currently serves as a senior consultant pediatrician at Solang Clinic, Lucknow. Her areas of expertise include adolescent pediatrics, nutrition, developmental pediatrics, counseling, and parental guidance. Beyond her clinical practices, Dr. Bhasin has held several prestigious leadership positions, including spokesperson of Central IAP, president of Lucknow Academy of Pediatrics, and chairperson of Adolescent Health Academy, Lucknow. She has also played a significant role in promoting adolescent health and parental awareness across multiple states in India. Welcome, Dr. Shalini Bhasin. It's a truly privilege to have you with us today. We are honored to have Dr. M. Sravya, a distinguished pediatrician and civil assistant surgeon from Eluru, Andhra Pradesh. She holds a MBBS and MD in pediatrics and is committed to providing comprehensive, passionate healthcare for children. Dr. Sravya is associated with Sravya's Children's Hospital, where she focuses on delivering quality pediatric care for the infancy through adolescence. Alongside her clinical practice, she serves as a civil assistant surgeon, contributing to community healthcare and public health services. She is known for her patient-centered approach and her commitment to empowering parents through education and preventive healthcare. Welcome, Dr. Sravya. So now, today's topic is about adolescent health. And while childhood vaccination is widely recognized, many people are unaware that protection must continue during adolescence and also a step further, that is adults. As children grow, immunity from some vaccines can decrease and adolescents become vulnerable to new infections. Vaccines recommended during these years play a significant role in preventing serious diseases and promoting lifelong. With this background, let us begin this today's discussion and hear from our distinguished panelists on why adolescent vaccination should uh, never be overlooked. So, the first question to our distinguished panelist, my Dr. Deepti. Uh, Dr. Deepti, to begin it, we know that most of the parents, it's a common notion that when a child is born, within 2 to 3 years, the vaccinations are over. So, to begin with, why is adolescence such an important window for vaccination, especially for families who may think vaccines are needed only during the early childhood? Dr. Dipti?
Yeah, I'm sorry, there was some problem with my connection. Yeah. Uh, no, so there are a couple of things, right? Why is adolescence? Because uh, the initial vaccination schedule has 0 and 6 years, and you're gaining immunity building up. Essentially, that we give DPT is part of universal immunization schedule. The antibody levels start slowly reducing, your seroprevalence comes down, and so you are is part of the reason is the increase in hygiene. So there are pockets of bad hygiene, bad um, balance sitting up. And there are a lot of children who you not cover a lot of these hepatitis A vaccine. When a lot of these rural children do not encounter adolescence 0 prevalence. So the number of people is what's estimated according to the recent estimate. There are 40 to 50 people entering adolescence with prevalence for especially seroprevalence for diseases like hepatitis A count. Also, you have PT. The third most important thing that happens in adolescence is you start experimenting. You have, go into children go move into hostels. They move into they travel a lot. They may have certain high risk. So, with all this in mind, you know that this particular moving towards adulthood, right? So, we are more prone.
Dr. Deepti, actually, we are we're finding trouble from your side in the connection, so we're unable to hear you. In the meantime, may I ask Dr.
Hence, it
Dr.
is more
Shalini?
important that we look at
Uh,
their
Yeah,
immunological.
so I have a suggestion. A lot of
yeah,
times there is disturbance in network. If you
yeah,
switch off your video, then
yeah,
sometimes the volume comes all right. So next time, I think next
yeah.
question you can do that.
Yes. So, ma'am, Dr. Shalini, we have discussed about, Dr. Deepti shared about that adolescents, that 40 to 50%, the seroprevalence comes down, and many of them are not protected. So, what are the common myths and hesitations you hear from parents when adolescents vaccines are discussed?
Yes, you're right. A lot of times we parents have a lot of hesitations, and there are common myths also. So,
Yeah,
like the commonest is that now my child is an adolescent, child is healthy. Why do they need vaccines now?
yeah,
They because they think it's only for infants, vaccinations. The general population feels so, but this is not true, as Dr. Deepti also pointed out, that number one, immunity wanes off. So especially
yes,
like pertussis, uh, and then there are new risks which are emerging in
mhm,
adolescent age groups, especially like HPV vaccination, meningococcal infections like this. So this is important to realize that not only the child requires vaccinations, but an adolescent also requires. Then they feel that these vaccines are too new or not well tested. So which is actually not true, because all the vaccines which come into play, they have an extensive global safety data, and the ones which we put regularly, whether in the government setup or in the private setup, they are part of the WHO recommended programs itself. Another myth is that, especially now that we talked of HPV, that HPV vaccine will encourage early sexual activity. So this is not true. This is not evidence based. This is just a cultural hesitation, because there is no link between vaccination and sexual behavior, because this is especially for cancer prevention. Parents often feel that there are too many vaccines. डॉक्टर साहब बहुत vaccines आ रही हैं. My child will be immune system will be overloaded.
yeah,
Well, their worry is overload, vaccine burden. But vaccine is an antigen, and our immune system is handling thousands of antigens daily. This is far more than the vaccines which are there. Then they are also afraid of the side effects and dangerous, especially fear of fever, fear of infertility. A lot of people feel there is a
yes.
myth.
That is a common thing now. Talking about
Yes.
HPV vaccine, people have infertility.
Yes, and then long term side effects. Well, let me tell you that these are all researched. We have positive data, proper data for them. And most adolescent vaccines have a mild, short lived side effect. Serious reactions are extremely rare. In one or two vaccines, there can be a vasovagal. So the doctor will tell you, give the vaccine and sit for 10-15 minutes after that.
Yes.
Another myth is that we've missed these vaccines earlier. Now it is too late, so we shouldn't give it. Time limit is there. 5 years pe ye lagna chahiye, and now my child is 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, especially for vaccines like HPV or Tdap boosters. This is very important that they should, hepatitis A, all these vaccines should be given. If they boosters have to be given, even if they are delayed, they should be given. If they have missed it, then catch up vaccination should be there, because catch up is effective and recommended. Means catch up means those vaccines which they have not given at the proper time, so should they be given now. We'll talk more about this later. Another important myth is that, doctor, my child is not at any risk. They underestimate diseases like HPV, hepatitis, meningococcal infections,
Yes.
whereas adolescents are actually entering a higher risk exposure phase. Like Dr. Deepti only said, they are going to schools, they are moving, they are traveling, their peers are there, they catch infections easily. And another important, I will not say a myth, but conception parents have, that they are very costly and they are not necessary. So, they prioritize the immediate needs over preventive care. And
Yes.
we as doctors must tell them that, these vaccines have long term protection against cancers and severe infections. So it is up to us to shift this perspective of theirs from immediate cause to a long term uh, problem. So I feel most hesitations from parents actually come from protective instincts. बच्चे को बचा रहे हैं, not
Yes.
resistance, है ना?
Yeah.
So our role is to replace that fear with facts and help the parents see the vaccines as protection their children cannot ask for, but truly need. So we as parent have to provide it. बच्चा बाहर बारिश में निकलता है, भूल जाता है छाता लेना, छाता हमको देना है as parents. So I think that is important.
Like we already discussed that it is vaccination is not an individual perspective. Also, we have to think that we have to be protected for the community also, because
Yes,
many diseases spread from us. So that is also another aspect which
yes,
comes for a discussion. So now
yes.
next question for will be with Dr. Sravya. Dr. Sravya, which vaccines should parents especially keep in mind while entering into while seeing the child enter into adolescence? So we have discussed Uh, Dr. Shalini have also shared like HPV and certain diseases. But do we have a dedicated schedule for adolescents now in India?
Yeah, thank you for the talk. So before going into the schedule, actually, so we need to know why are we giving these vaccinations. As already ma'am already explained about the things, I just want to give a brief insight. So adolescence is an age where child enters from 11 to 18 years. So in this phase, there is an emotional changes in the child, physical changes. They're going into higher studies, and there are few things for which we are giving the vaccinations, like the change in food habits. They usually go for restaurants or outside food where they can get this hepatitis infections, and they are going into the hostels for, so there's sanitation issue. So because of this poor sanitization and all, they may again get this hepatitis infections and typhoid. So according to these priorities, vaccination schedule has been given according to the IAP. So in that schedule, we are usually giving MMR vaccine, hepatitis A and B vaccine, yearly influenza vaccine. Actually, influenza is up to 5 years, but in an extended schedule, if there is any case, then we can also give up to 15 years. So hepatitis, typhoid, this HPV vaccine, which is very important these days. So HPV can be given to both males and females, which is not much aware in normal public. They are usually giving for the girls, but it is also advised for the boys also. So these are the vaccine schedules, and these are also given to prevent other complications, because they are going to become the pre-adults or the adults. So they have different life cycle in the next 10 to 15 years. So this prevention will give the better opportunity in adulthood. So these are the schedule of vaccines given.
Thank you, Dr. Sravya, for sharing that or listing out the diseases. Now, coming to two important discuss what Dr. Sravya discussed with hepatitis. So, Dr. Deepti, focusing on hepatitis A and B, how do these two infections differ and they spread, and why vaccination in adolescence is important? Like uh, exclusively pointing on hepatitis B and hepatitis A. Now also we are seeing hepatitis E vaccine is also available in India. Yeah. Dr. Deepti? I'm able to. I think you are on mute. Yeah. Okay. So
Could call her.
I know. I think better. Dr. Shalini would like to attempt this question. This one will address this for like how hepatitis A and B are different, and why again vaccinating these adolescents is important here.
Though Dr. Deepti was supposed to take this question,
Yeah.
uh, so I would suggest for the rest of the questions also, if you can just call her. If she is
Yeah.
not available on video, then just
Yeah.
if she keeps the audio, her this thing
Yes.
will be there. So I will put in
Yeah.
two facts together. Firstly, A and B, if we see. So what is the root of A vaccination? A, not vaccination, sorry. A, we get hepatitis A through
A.
the feco-oral route.
Yes.
So feco-oral route means we go eat somewhere or the water is contaminated. And that is the major role where we get the hepatitis A. Whereas B we get from mucus exposure, from blood product exposure. So if it is an injectable, there was a stage. Now we are using disposables, but there was a stage earlier where the same syringes were used, partially boiled, cleaned, whatever way they were doing. Then blood
Yes.
products also, blood
Yeah.
which we transfuse, blood transfusion is given. Even from that, sexual contact, mucosal contact. If your skin is cut and your finger, anyway, let's suppose I have a cut here and my skin is in touch with the mucosa of a person who has hepatitis B, then I can also get it. So it's for the humorous way is the way where we get it. So these are the two different. So they both are separate entities, though they cause hepatitis, but they are completely, people feel when we tell them give hepatitis A vaccination, नहीं डॉक्टर साहब बचपन में लग चुका
बचपन
है,
में लगा चुका
because
है.
they feel hepatitis B लग गया हो गया. नहीं, they are two different entities. They have two different vaccination schedules and timings also. So from here only I will take up what you were going to ask. If you say, I'll talk about the
Yeah,
hepatitis.
about that, we now discussed about the this hepatitis A and B. You have differentiated what is A and B, but if people have taken in the childhood hepatitis B, most of the parents they come and say that my child has taken hepatitis B. Do you recommend hepatitis other hepatitis vaccines which are available, or is there anything called suppose anybody who has not taken hepatitis B vaccine at future point of time, maybe during the adolescence or adult, they can take this vaccine?
Yeah, so this is what we call catch up vaccine, which I was mentioning earlier.
Yes.
So what happens? Firstly, let me put it very straight. Hepatitis A ho ya hepatitis B. If not given, when you find the child, when the child comes to you, do the catch up vaccination. Clear cut.
Yes.
Now, let's go into them one by one. So, if the child has received hepatitis B vaccination in infancy, usually we start a birth dose and then at 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, or 0.16. So, by 6 months of age, the child has already received hepatitis B vaccination. So, if the child has already been given, then the child is protected. A
Yes.
normal child does not routinely need a booster dose in adolescence or adulthood, a normal child. However, if it is a high risk child, high risk we mean immune compromised, renal problem, healthcare exposure, something like this, then they need boosters. So a normal child will not require. So if you but if you have a doubt whether the course was completed or not, two doses were given, third is not given, or if the record is missing, so we are not
Yes.
100% sure now. So in that case, either we repeat the series, or some people like to check the antibody titers against anti-HBs and then give it. Clear? So
Yeah.
if we are sure the child is given hepatitis B, we do not need to give it. Now regarding hepatitis A, if it was never given, then yes, catch up vaccination is strongly recommended and we must give it, and especially to adolescents. Because, if an adolescent is supposing 18 years of age today and or 17 years, whatever age, and during his childhood, routinely A is recommended at 1 year of age.
Hmm.
So if during childhood, the child, that time the doctors or pediatricians were not so aware to give it, then
Yes.
now the child needs it, and especially an adolescent needs it, because adolescents are especially susceptible, because as we discussed earlier, uh, they are traveling, they are catching, they are eating out, you
Mhm.
know. Secondly, they are, the disease now which the adolescent will have is much more severe than in early childhood.
Okay.
Yep.
Now I think we have Dr. Deepti with us. Dr. Deepti, the question would be like, if a child has already taken a vaccine, maybe hepatitis B or A in the childhood, if parents comes and they have forgotten whether the vaccine have been taken or not, they don't have any record of it. So if they take the vaccine, uh, will it harm the child?
डॉक्टर
I think.
दीप्ति, आप अपना वीडियो बंद कर दो, तो आप
I
फ्रोजन
think.
है.
Yeah. Okay. I think, ma'am, Dr. Shalini, you can answer this, please.
I already
Yeah.
answered this, that if
Yeah.
the child, but partially maybe.
Yeah.
So if the child is given hepatitis B or A and
Yeah.
they are not sure, records are not there, in
Yeah.
that case, if we give it, either we
Yeah.
take the titers or we give it. If we give the vaccine, it is safe. There is no side effect to it. You can safely repeat it also. Secondly, about hepatitis A, I would like to say that if the dose has been given, then definitely, is there disturbance? Sorry.
No. 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 It's fine.
So if the dose has been given, the gap between two doses of hepatitis A is usually 6 months, but can be given up to 12 months also, and rather 5 months tak bhi, it has been 5 years tak bhi, we have seen that the coverage remains. So you can give it. So one dose has been given, second has not been given, you give it. No dose has been given, you repeat, give the whole course. Then about B also similarly, it's given 016, last dose has not been given, you can safely give that.
Yes.
But if you are doubtful, give the whole course, and it is safe.
Great. Fantastic. So, my question to Dr. Sravya. Dr. Sravya, what are the long-term consequences of hepatitis A and B if adolescents are not vaccinated?
So these hepatitis A and B, they both are actually with different consequences they have. So hepatitis A, as already ma'am said, it is a fecal-oral route transmission, which is usually through food and waterborne diseases. If the child is affected with hepatitis A, usually they have fever, abdominal pain, vomitings, and diarrhea, and it will be subsided if proper treatment is given. If the child has recurrent hepatitis or hepatitis A infection in recurrence, and if the child is not vaccinated, then they may go for permanent hepatitis and liver failure.
Okay.
And in
Yeah.
hello, and in hepatitis B infection also, if the child is not treated, it is also a horizontal and vertical transmission in hepatitis B, like from mother to child, perinatal infection, mucosal transmissions. So in that case also, child may land into cirrhosis of liver or hepatitis and chronic hepatitis.
Right. So we have got two hepatitis. One is chronic hepatitis B, and hepatitis A becomes acute. But hepatitis A has more, I mean, the contributions towards the acute liver failure in India.
Yeah.
And we have one more, which is hepatitis E and hepatitis C. Would you like to, for the benefit of the public, would you like to explain about hepatitis E and C, how it is spread, or whether we have any prevention for it?
Both hepatitis E and C are also like fecal-oral route only, and that is also waterborne and foodborne diseases, and that is also the same route as of hepatitis A. At present, there is no specific treatment for A and C. It is similar to hepatitis E also. Vaccination prevents all the three hepatitis infections, and there is individual vaccination. Hepatitis E, as you said, but there is no current status for vaccination of hepatitis E.
Okay. So, Dr. Shalini, parents continuously worry about the safety of the vaccines. So, uh, uh, what kind of assurance you have for the vaccine side effects and overall safety during the adolescence?
See, regarding safety, remember one thing:
Yeah.
all vaccines, no matter what anybody says, all vaccines may have some amount of side effects, but majority of the vaccines, rather the vaccines per se, have serious side effects are very less. So you have a local side effects like pain, swelling, induration, redness may be there locally, and which we can always tell the parent even when we are giving wholesale pertussis vaccine, DPT. Then we
Yeah.
tell the parents, you can have swelling, you can have fever, you can, and this is what you do for it. We tell them what problem can happen and what to do for it. Then they can be transient vaccine problems like syncope can happen, and we see that quite a lot, not quite a lot, but sometimes in our patients. That is why after every vaccination, especially adolescent vaccination, when it's a child, the infant, the child is lying down, so it's okay. But when it's an bigger child or an adolescent, then the child is either sitting or standing, and there can be syncope, especially after HPV and these vaccinations we see. बच्चा जल्दी से लगवाता है और खड़ा हो जाता है चलने के लिए, and then he feels giddy and faints. So the parents, it's really, they get, oh, what happened? It's because of the vaccination. Obviously it's because of the vaccination. So we tell the children that, okay, we've given you this and we want you to sit for a while. Sit for 15 minutes in the clinic, in the waiting area, then you leave. So that's a wise step. Now regarding serious side effects, they are known, everything but they are very minuscule, very, and the chances of that having that side effect versus the problem which they can face if not vaccinated is very minuscule. So that is why we always weigh the cost benefit ratio. I mean, what is for the child, the getting the vaccination is important, and the side effects are very, very minuscule and very rare. So we don't talk about those side effects much, but we as pediatricians, as doctors, we know that they are very minor in number. Okay.
Okay.
And only those vaccines are allowed to be put in the in the masses which are safe. So
Right.
any vaccine which is WHO or recommended are all very safe.
Right, doctor. So, doctor, in a vaccine, we normally see that the vaccines are given in either one dose or a two dose or a three dose schedule. So, if at any point of time a vaccine is missed, so how it affects the patient? I mean, the person who has taken the incomplete vaccination or missed dose, and how they can, how they can get the immunity back.
So let's see, when any vaccine is 2 or 3 doses,
Yes.
okay, then the first will give you an immediate, after 2 to 4 weeks, there will be a
Yes.
antibody rise titer. The second dose will make it rise further. And the third dose for certain vaccines, if they are there, then they will take it forward for a few years before the next booster comes. This I'm talking, for example, DPT, which is given in infancy. So if the first dose is given, and it holds good for most of the vaccines, if one dose is given, then you get an immunity for a certain time. If you have not given the second dose or the booster, it usually wanes down. And then you realize, Arey, ye chhoot gaya tha. As you said, what do you do then? Then
Yeah.
you take the booster or the dose. Majority of the vaccines do not want you to start the course again.
Yes. True. So now my question to Dr. Shravya. Dr. Shravya, you are also getting doing the counseling for the adolescents vaccination. How can families prepare for this kind of vaccination, and how do you encourage families to take up adolescents vaccination? Okay.
Yeah, actually, parents are well informed for their every visit according to the schedule. If even if it is an adolescent vaccination or general schedule, even if the child comes for any illness, also we usually prepare them for normal vaccinations because prevention is always better than cure. So we usually advise them to take the proper vaccinations. Like in case of flu vaccines, earlier it was not that much important, but these days it is very important to take yearly flu vaccines for even children who are not high risk also. So in similar way, adolescents are also advised to take the proper vaccinations, and parents are well informed before, like they're paying a lot of school fees and everything. They're spending a lot on the children, but they also should invest on the health of the child in this way also. So we are informing them to take proper Tdap, T-teen immunizations, hepatitis vaccines, and HPV. More importantly, these days HPV vaccinations, and they should also be given proper guidance, like why are we giving these vaccines, and what is the use in long term consequences also. So we are preparing them for since first visit itself, so that they are not worried, or they are not worried about the financial issues or something like that.
Okay. So, Dr. Shalini, there is now, because of uh, we know that any media has got its own good and bad. So we have like social media, a lot of misinformation for vaccines. So how do you manage this misinformation among parents? Like,
Yes, you're right. There is a lot of misinformation which is rampant, especially on social media. So
yes,
first, what we as parents, I'm talking, so addressing the parents, or if the parents come to the doctors, then what they have to advise is that check the source. What
yes,
is the source of the information which you are getting, myth which you are getting, or any message you've got? And they should ask, is this from a recognized authority? But WHO has said this, or a national pediatric body like IAP has said this, government has said this, health sports, any health portal has said this. Who has sent this message? Number one. Secondly, uh, r- r- amongst from this only, is it from this, or someone has said, वो एक हम लोग बोलते हैं कोई पुराण, किसी ने कहा, है ना? Or forwarded message, many people just keep forwarding messages, or some influencer is saying without any medical background, they are saying this. So clarify the source. Second is, look for evidence,
yes,
not emotion. Lot of times emotion को वो hype कर देते हैं, अरे ये वैक्सीन तो बहुत dangerous है, my child neighbor's child got sick when he took this vaccination. Some dramatic language, डराने
yes,
के लिए. So you have to see whether the information is reliable. Is it referring to some data, some studies, some guidelines given by some medical authority? And
yes,
जो भी authority देगा ना, language, जैसे I told you,
true.
these are the side effects are there, so they will use a balanced approach देगा, non sensational language होगी.
हाँ,
Language will not be to frighten you, or and then there are people who will say miracle claims करते हैं, absolute, like this is 100% unsafe, this is 100% safe. और एक अभी नया हमने देखा था, doctors don't want you to know this,
uh-huh.
ऐसे आती है स्टार्टिंग, क्योंकि उनका काम खत्म हो जाएगा अगर पता चल गया. So these are all bogus,
Yeah,
and we must uh, be careful. Always remember to cross check
with your
with
doctor.
the
Yeah.
doctor. This
Yes.
is very important. और एक और चीज I have seen, sometimes they will discourage vaccines because they want to promote something else. You
Yeah.
know,
True.
they want to sell a product or a supplement or an alternative therapy, so that is the time they'll really want कि vaccine नहीं लगाओ, ये दवाई मत खाओ, इसका इलाज मत करो, ये करो. So yeah, or with all this in mind, you can easily come to know कि and कि ये नकली है, information सही नहीं है. Another thing for parents and doctors, everybody rather, is कि हम जो forward करते हैं ना, please be careful in what you are forwarding. Who said this and what is the evidence? सिर्फ एक ड्रामेटाइज करने की जरूरत नहीं है उसको. Would I trust this over my doctor?
Yes.
So before forwarding any message, please keep this in mind. This is very important.
Great, ma'am. So, Dr. Sravya, we have something called how like vaccines, vaccine hesitancy, and we have certain fear to vaccines. Fear to vaccines means people will fear that there will be a lot many reactions with vaccines. So, how do you? What is your guidance for the parents, or what do they should do? What they should do being at home after vaccination, or what are the safe measures for getting vaccinated?
Okay. Parents are usually worried about the acute and chronic reactions of these vaccines. Like acute reactions, even with the minimal rash and fever, also they are worried. Like because of vaccination, we have got this fever and rash. But these misnomers should be properly told to the parents. Like usual adolescent vaccine doesn't have any reactions, like just Tdap or something. They only have local pain with rash and mild fevers, and rather than that, other vaccines they usually do not have any acute and chronic reactions or something. If the child is having any immunodeficiencies or any chronic cases like child on HIV or drugs or something like that, then in special cases only child may have some reactions. Otherwise, usual vaccinations, they have only mild pain, fever, and mild redness, and that's all. And those should be in hand, should be told to the parents beforehand only, and they should take proper rest for after vaccination. They should be monitored for 10 to 15 minutes in the waiting room and then sent to home.
Is there any food restriction?
Usually there is no food restriction, but sometimes there may be egg allergy to the patients who are taken some vaccinations. That is also not actually proven, but it is better to avoid egg during vaccination schedule for 1 or 2 days.
Yeah. So now, Dr. Shalini, is there like under which conditions you don't prefer vaccination of a child? Like what health condition you say
So
that?
the child is having high fever, infection, immune compromised child at that moment, has had steroids for a particular period of time. So
Okay.
all these conditions, because we must understand what does the vaccine do. We introduce the antigen in our body, and that produces antibodies. So any condition where the
Yes.
immune system is as it is suppressed by steroids, severe infection, anything like that, then we do not vaccinate. Secondly, if the child has already received a live vaccine recently, more than 4 weeks nahi hue hain, within the last 4 weeks, the child has received one live vaccine, then we cannot give the second live vaccine. Meaning, अगर उसको measles का vaccine आज लगा है, तो 2 हफ्ते बाद, 3 हफ्ते बाद, within up to 4 weeks, हम उसको chicken pox nahi lagayenge, which is also a live vaccine. They should either be given together, or a gap of at least 4 weeks should be there.
So I think it was very clear, Dr. Shalini and Dr. Shavya, we had a fantastic discussion going on, and we have almost covered all the aspects of adolescence. Now, since we are at the final stage, what message you'd like to give it to the parents on adolescence health? So each one, Dr. Shavya, please your message for the parents.
So even if it is an infant, a newborn, or an adolescent, vaccines are always important to every child until 18 years of age, and even further if it is recommended. Because I think there's a less awareness in parents regarding the vaccination and more of misnomers, and the proper financial advices are also not given. As ma'am said, these social media is giving improper evidences and these things to the parents. So parents should actually consult a pediatrician, whoever available, and then only decide the vaccination status for the child. And it is very important to prevent the disease before curing it. So these are only a few handful of vaccines which we can give, and it is not very costly also if we are actually seeing them. So that should be proper guidance should be there to the parents from the pediatrician regarding all the vaccinations.
Thank you, Dr. Sravya. So we have Dr. Deepti with us. She had some
Sorry,
connection
yeah.
issues. No problem, ma'am. So we have a great discussion. So would you like to add something to the discussion and share your thoughts for the day?
Yeah, I mean, just specifically, with respect to adolescents and that age group, I think a lot has been discussed by ma'am and Shavya. I agree with all the points that have been made. I was listening in while the call
Yes.
was on. But as a clinical scientist who also works in that part of the field, I just want to add a few things about the waning immunity and why hepatitis A and certain other diseases are more severe in adolescents. Like where the thing with the way this, especially certain viruses like hepatitis A, they're not cytopathic viruses. The way they cause the disease is by inviting an immunological storm. So when the virus enters your body, it invites an immunological storm, and the liver kills it, and that's how you have the disease. Yeah, certain disease like hepatitis A. So what happens is, when you are a young child, your immunological ability to mount a response is much lesser. So your side effects are, because of the virus per se, is much lesser. But as you move towards adolescence, and if you haven't been exposed to certain viruses, the kind of response you mount when a virus attacks your body, the kind of response you mount is much more severe. So in layman's terms, in an adolescent, the body attacks its own cells much faster when a virus attacks you. And so it becomes even more important that during adolescence, you try to vaccinate, you try to first establish your titers, especially in hepatitis A, and then you vaccinate the child if at all you find the titers to be waning. In a country like ours, where we still have majority of people not covered by hepatitis A, you have increasing number of adolescents who are entering adolescence with low values of your IgG, your titers, and that just goes to show that you need to be immunized. So my advice to parents is, yes, for the urban parents, everything is available. They can Google, they can find out. But also to those who are in rural, semi-urban settings, this virus is still prevalent in endemic areas, not just hepatitis A. It is with respect to other waning vaccines also, DTP as well. So check your immunization schedules, check the status of your child, and go ahead and vaccinate. That would be my closing comments on this.
Thank you, Dr. Deepti. Now, Dr. Shalini, your message for the public, please.
Yes. Well, I would say that the best gift which we can give to the next generation is not only education,
Yeah.
which is definitely number one, but protection from preventable diseases. So, vaccinate your teenager, not just for today's health, but for tomorrow's cancers and infections, which we can stop today. That would be my message.
Great. So, uh, I think thank you for all for being a part of this immunization conclave. We hope today's session was informative and valuable in spreading awareness on adolescent vaccination. Our special thanks to Dr. Deepti Kulkarni Rao from Bangalore, Dr. Shalini Bhasin from Lucknow, and Dr. Sravya from Eluru for sharing their time, expertise, and insights with us today. For those who'd like to revisit the program, the video is available on our official social media platform. Please follow us in the social media channels. Do like, share, and spread the word to as many individuals like friends, family, and relatives, because we with this we can educate, vaccinate, and eliminate diseases.